All right, so this is our last question. An outdoor hot tub holds 2,700 liter of water. When the valve at the bottom of the tub is opened, it takes 3 hours for the water to completely drain. The volume of water in the tub is modeled by the function V at t equals to 1 over 12 180 minus t squared, where V is the volume of water in the hot tub in liters and t is the time in minutes that the valve is open. So if we graph this, we can see that the volume in this case is going to decrease as time is increasing, okay? Because you have so many 2,700 and we're looking at it as it's going down. So in this case, they're asking you to determine the average rate of change of volume from 2 minutes to 10 minutes. Average rate of change is pretty straightforward because what we have here, we have the 2x values, right? So we're going to have to look at V at 2. And then we're going to have to look at V at 10. And we need to, then we can do like V at 10 minus V at 2 over 10 minus 2. Okay. So we're going to find V at 2 first. And that's going to be 1/12 of 180 minus 2 squared. So that's going to be 1 over 12, 178 squared. And if I do that one, that's going to give me I'm going to leave it in fraction. And that's going to give me 7,921 over 3. Okay, V at 10 now. That's going to be 1/12, 180 minus 10 squared. So that's going to be 1/12 of 170 squared. And that's going to give me 7,225 over 3. Okay, I'm lucky that they're both over 3. Now, if we're looking at the slope of the secant line or the average rate of change, that's going to be F at 10 minus F at, or in this case, we're using the letter V for volume. So V at 10 minus V at 2 over 10 minus 2. So in this case, I have 7,921 over 3. That's a mistake. V at 10 is 7,225. And then minus 7,921 over 3. And that's all divided by 10 minus 2, which is 8. So that is going to be if I do the math here, what's going to happen is I'm going to end up with a number that can be divided by 3. So let's just show you here. So 7,225 minus 7,921. That gives you negative 696 over 3 divided by 8. So the 696 can be divided by 3. So that is going to be negative 232 over 8. And that can simplify to negative 21. And that is the average rate of change. Okay, is negative 29. And this is going to be the V is in liter and T is in minutes. So my unit here is liter per minute, and this is very important because we know that the average, the rate of change has a unit in scenarios where they give us units. Now, point B, where I'm just going to scratch this, we're not going to do that. Determine the instantaneous rate of change of the volume of water at 60 minutes. So we're looking at the instantaneous rate of change at 60 minutes. So now things change. So we are going to find the slope of the tangent line, or the instantaneous rate of change. And this is where the limit as h approaches 0 of v at 60 plus h minus v at 60 all divided by h. Okay, so remember that your a value is 60 minutes, right? So that's why we're replacing a plus h with 60 plus h. So that equals to the limit as h approaches 0. I'm going to take t and replace it with 60 plus h. So what we have here, we have 1/12 and 180 minus, now be careful here, okay, because you have minus and then you're replacing t with 60 plus h. So basically you have to put that 60 plus h in bracket, okay, because that negative is going to affect both of them. All right, and then so that's 1/12, 180 minus 60 plus h squared. And then for the second one, which is I'm going to replace t with 60, that's going to be 1/12 and then 180 minus 60 squared. And that's all divided by h. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, you see how I have 1/12 here and 1/12 here? I'm gonna bring it out. I'm gonna factor it. And then I am going to bring the h also outside with it. Okay, so it's gonna be 1/12 times h. Just so things are a bit more clean. And that's going, I'm going to remove the bracket from inside here. So I'm going to multiply that -6 negative in. 180 minus 60, that's 120. So I still have the 1/12h on the outside. I'm going to simplify this. So that's going to be 120 minus h squared. Look how nice and more clear this is. And then if I do 120 squared, that's going to be 14,400. I'm going to expand 120 minus h squared. So that's going to be 120 squared, which is 14,400 minus 2 times 120, 240h plus h squared. Again, I used the quick one, the perfect square expanding. Now, look at this. This and this cancel each other, and I'll be left with negative 240h plus h squared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to multiply it by the 1, just so I have the 12h here in the denominator. Now you see that the h factors out, and you'll be left with negative 240 plus h over 12h. That's beautiful because h and h cancel. Now I can plug in 0 for h. So that means this is going to go towards 0, and that's going to be negative 240 over 12. And I can simplify that to negative 20 liters per minute. Okay, so this here, again, knowing your math knowing your formula is important, but knowing how to do the math is very, very important because you don't want to mess up with signs. The minute that you mess up with signs, your answer, and it's going to be very hard to simplify, and then your answer is going to be messed up. Okay, so be careful with this. As I'm gonna post a note on Edsby. If you guys have any questions, either from the homework or from this lesson, this is 1.2, and you can also look at 1.3 as well. So you can look at 1.2 and 1.3 homework in your textbook. If you guys have any questions, I will hold questions during block 4 on Monday and Tuesday. So you just have to go on the Zoom at 2:40, let's say at 2:40. Okay, go on Zoom and I will call, and you guys can pick up the call if you need that help or if you have any questions. I highly recommend that you do come in. Even if you don't have questions, come into the Zoom and listen to other people asking questions, maybe things that you have not realized. I'm sorry I couldn't be with you today. I'm still waiting for my test results to be able to come back. If you guys have any questions, please come on the Zoom at 2:40 Monday and Tuesday. The test is still on Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday for cohort A and Thursday for cohort B. Bye, guys.